Are you looking for comprehensive solutions for your performance and automotive needs? Straight Line Performance and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop specializing in race car fabrication, electrical design, chassis setup and alignment. Located in Hamden, Connecticut, they also specialize in aftermarket high performance and chassis upgrades. Be sure to look them up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/straightline STR8LINE Performance &Automotive, or give them a call at 203-415-5316. Welcome, racers and fans, to the Racers News Network Live, presented by Straight Line Performance and Automotive and Scotty Wheels Racing. Your hosts, Chris and Pete, bring you the latest news and interviews in the world of sportsman drag racing, including bracket racing, association races, outlaw, and no-time events. We are live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take it away, boys.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Racers News Network Live. It's going to be a fun show. I can tell already. You guys missed out on the beginning conversation. This is going to be good. But this is our first, what we hope to be, annual ladies' night. Carla Grella, Freddie Perkins' girlfriend, approached me at the divisional event at New England and said, hey, you need to have a ladies' night. I don't care when you do it, but you need to have a ladies' night. And I said, all right, cool. You know what? That sounds like a hell of an idea. And we put it all together. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are. So what I'm going to ask first is, I don't know how I'm laid out on your screens, ladies, but I'm going to go to my left. That's Carla. Just go around and introduce yourselves. First off, Carla.
Hi, I'm Carla. I'm date Fred Perkins of Fast Freddy Motorsports. And this is kind of like an AA meeting. It's like, hi, my name's Carla. I'm dating a drag racer.
All right. To my right is Karen Proctor.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm Karen Proctor. I'm married to that crazy Ronnie Proctor that everybody loves, and so do I.
All right. Bottom left. This is like I can't remember the name of the show now, or almost we could call it like the Brady Bunch on crack. But bottom left is a very longtime friend of mine. Of course, I'm talking about Lauren Coltrera-Lowe. So say hello, Lauren.
Hi.
And for just to say something about Lauren, it's only taken me like 5 years to get her to come on here. So, and her and her, oh, you don't hate me. Her and her husband just had a baby about, we're going on what, 6 months ago now, right?
7.
It's been 7 already? Wow. So a little girl, how is she doing?
She's incredible. She's such a good baby. She's doing good, growing up.
Very cool, very cool. All right, directly below me is the world famous Lisa Gaboreo. Notice I remembered how to say it.
Yep. I'm Dennis's wife, been doing this drag racing for 27 years.
Wow. All right. To the right of Lisa, again, we're going by my screen, is Melissa Thompson. Melissa, you got to unmute yourself again.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep. So Melissa Thompson.
Okay.
Say hi.
Yep, I'm Melissa. I date DJ. Hi.
All right. And Sarah, directly below Lisa, again on my screen. You just got to unmute. There you go. There you go. Say hi, Sarah.
Hi, everyone.
So I want to first off, obviously, say thank you to everybody for taking time out of your, pre-Christmas craziness to come on and hang out with us for a bit. I got some questions that I kind of slapped together. Some of these I know the answer to, some of them I do not. But I'm gonna just kind of throw it out, and what you guys can do is whoever raises their hand first will go with you. How did you get into the racing scene? Karen.
Well, Ronnie and I actually met at the racetrack. We've been married, I want to say 34 years, so probably 37 years ago, we met at the racetrack. I was actually racing with my dad and my sister. And yeah, that's how we met. He loves it. I love it. My dad used to do circle track when I was a little girl, and I just been into racing ever since. So Dad and I used to race. He had a Shelby GT 500. We take it out on the road and race, and he was a bad influence on me. Let me tell you. 130 past state police barracks. Yes, I love it. So that's how we met at the racetrack.
Cool. Carla.
I got into it, came with the man. I met Fred in 2009 was the first time we met, and he had kind of just started racing, and that was the first time I ever saw the Nova, and I fell in love probably with the car first and then Fred. And then, you know, we took a break for every probably reason. And then the past 3 years, you know, we got back together, and now I started off kind of just cooking, and then I just kind of step up, and now I really, really enjoy it. It's quite a challenge. It's nice to do something with him that makes him happy and to learn everything. And I never knew what a family aspect there was to it, and I really enjoy it.
Cool. Lisa, I saw you had raised your hand as well. Go ahead.
Well, Dennis and I met when we were in high school, and he was always into cars. And when we were dating, he always said, I'm going to drag race. He goes, that's my goal in life, is I'm going to be a drag racer. Because his dad used to drag race, but then his dad gave it up because his mom had 3 kids and they couldn't afford it. And he said, I'm going to keep racing. He goes, I'm not going to ever stop. He goes, so don't ever ask me, if we're going to get married, you can't ask me to stop racing. So I said, well, there's 2 ways I'll ask you to stop racing. One is if you crash the car, I won't be able to do it anymore, so you'll be done. And then the second one is, I said, if we can't afford to pay our bills. Well, he has crashed the car, and that's the reason why I don't watch, but that's a whole nother story. But
Very cool. I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to go over to Lauren. So how'd you get into it? I know the answer.
I was born into it. I went to my first race when I was, I think, 6 weeks old. My dad drove for a while, and then he worked with Jaggy, and then my brother started driving, and my brother went the racing route, I went college route, and then I started driving his car around the pit area, and that wasn't working for me anymore, so I went and got my license, and I've been driving ever since.
Cool. Sarah.
Yes. I didn't know drag racing existed until I started dating Brian.
Yep.
I grew up in a football family, and he invited me to go out to Beaver Springs, Pennsylvania, which is the middle of nowhere. And that was my first experience with it. And like everyone else, racing came with the package.
Melissa.
I pretty much just grew up around it. My dad's been drag racing since he was a teenager, so he started bringing me to Englishtown, and I kind of fell in love with it, and I started going with him when I graduated from college, and that's eventually how me and DJ met.
Very cool. Next question. Race day responsibilities. What do you guys do? Same thing. We'll start it off with whoever raises their hand first. Carla,
Everything.
everything.
Yes.
I've seen her in action. I can tell Freddie's making comments off to the side.
It's a routine now. It's an organized chaos. You have to, between either Fred's getting the cars ready and getting them into trailers, or going to food and making sure how long are we going for, how are you going to get there, what route you're going to take, what the weather is going to be, and clothes, how long, especially with the weather thing. We don't know how many clothes, huh? What? And just getting through the entire organized chaos of it, the checklist of, we've gotten a pretty good routine going on of like what I'll remember, what he remembers, and going over it again and going over it again, what strap, making sure everything's double strapped and triple strapped again. It's just, it takes a day. We try to do it a day before because we always forget something, and we always forget something.
Sarah.
So I don't get to as many races as I would like and as Brian would like. We have four kids, and 3 of them play travel soccer. So I'm usually pretty busy schlepping kids around. I'll do some grocery shopping, but the few times I make it to the racetrack a year, I kind of just in the stands videoing.
Cool. Melissa.
It's kind of organized chaos.
Yeah. Nice.
Now, it just depends on
you bounce back and forth between both cars, right? As well.
It kind of on where we're going. It could be just the funny car. It could be 3 super comps, a funny car, and a junior, and my dad's top sportsman car. So our routine with getting ready and organized and what we're doing kind of just depends on what we're bringing out. But like Carla said, I mean, it's all a routine. We know what we're doing. We usually load and get everything ready a few days before. It's kind of just something we all have our responsibilities to get ready for the race.
Cool. Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, Dennis and I are both pretty organized when it comes to the racing. About 3 or 4 days beforehand, I start going through the food checklist. I go out to the motorhome, see what we need, get the groceries bought, get meats marinated, salads made, get everything all done and everything all packed to go. And then when we're at the races, we just have our set stuff. I'm not allowed to touch anything on the motor. The only thing I get to do is put gas in it because Dennis doesn't trust anybody to touch anything on his car except for that. I help him pack the chutes, adjust the wheelie bars. That stuff like that.
Cool. Lauren, obviously you're a driver. So
Right.
Have you had to give up a little bit of the between round stuff now that with the baby? And
Yeah.
who do you rely? I know your dad does a large part of it, but
Yes.
who else jumps in and helps your dad? Obviously, I know Kyle too, but
Yeah. So my dad and brother do a lot. I basically drive the car back, plug it into the battery, put air back in the tires, put gas in it, and then I'm distracted by Raina. And if there's anything wrong, obviously with the car or something going on, my dad and brother handle that. As far as cooking and food and all that, we have an incredible woman that loves to do all that. Her name's Deb, and she Jeremy's going like this, waiting for his time to shine. She does all of the cooking and stuff, and then the baby's
oh, you
asleep.
muted yourself, Lauren.
Yeah.
Oh, she froze. All right, Sarah, Karen,
Mhm.
sorry, go ahead.
It's a teamwork
To have
effort.
a big
You know, a lot of
delay.
times it's Ronnie and I going, and we don't have any help. And it's a lot of communication. It's a lot of working things out, trying to figure out things. None of us ladies are prissy girls because we end up being just as dirty as the guys are because we're hands on. I know Carla is. I know a lot of women that are hands on. So forget the nails because we got regular hands because we just get dirty. It's a dirty job. It's, you know, and there's a lot to it. Like Ronnie likes to go up last to the stage and lanes. He likes to go up and watch people run. So I stay back with the car. I make sure everything's taken care of. So he comes back, I get him ready to go and he goes. But everybody's got a different routine, and each driver likes different things. So it's a matter of working it out between the two of you and figuring out what works for the both of you. And it's not just it's on the track too. I mean, you need to know how to communicate when you're on the track. Like I know when Ronnie just starts a car and pulls up, I know how he's feeling in the car. I know if he's anxious because we've done it so much together that I can tell. And, you know, I can just, you know, take a breath. I can tell him, take a breath. You know, or if he's at the light and the other car's taking a long time, you know, he'll be like, what's going on? And we communicate, hey, chill out. They're doing wheelie bars, give it a minute, you know, but it's a lot of teamwork, and it does get chaotic, and especially if you have an issue. So anyway, but we love it. We love it. It's very exciting. And it's family oriented, you know, like we get to hang out with friends the whole entire weekend. How much better can that be?
Very cool.
So.
All right. Favorite thing about the racing lifestyle? Let's start out with Melissa this time.
Oh, my favorite thing. I just like the competition. Sorry, my dog's in the camera.
Okay.
It's just fun. You know, most of our friends are at the racetrack. It's family oriented. So I think the most fun is that we just get to see all friends that we don't get to see all the time. And obviously just the competition. I mean, with the funny car, we take it very seriously. DJ runs a lot of events, so it's fun, it's competitive, and we just like to have a good time and be safe.
Lisa.
Dogs.
It's the racing family, hands down. I love spending the weekends with our racing family. I mean, we spend more time with them than we do our regular family, but our racing family understands what we're doing. They understand the struggles. They understand what it takes to get a race car to the track, where the rest of our family, they don't get it. No matter what you try to explain to them, they'll ask you how the racing went, but they just don't understand it all. And, you know, I love it when the Millers are racing with us, because Becky and I, we call each other and be like, okay, you make the meal on Friday night, I'll make the meal on Saturday night. And that way we take, each one of us takes the responsibility of doing stuff like that. So it's definitely the racing family for me.
Cool. Carla.
I think this year is the first year but was so involved. And I enjoy everyone that I'm meeting, all the new people and the learning of it. Because I don't have a racing background at all. I mean, I used to be in high heels and pencil skirts. And now every single race, I either meet somebody new and I learn something else. And so I do enjoy, you know, all of that and the different scenes and the different racetracks and how all the operating of it all. I just like to know how everything works and how to make it easier for me, how to make it easier for Fred, and seeing what other people do to see if I can catch on to what they're doing. Maybe that'll work for us. I just like learning all of it.
Cool. Sarah.
Bless you.
Seeing our kids grow up around it and how much they love it, and how Brian will, take them over to the car and let them, I don't know. I can't talk like I know anything about race cars, but like, let them, have a wrench or something. When they get super excited, when he runs around like that, that's like my favorite thing about it. Like the family piece that everybody's talking about, and just seeing the pure unadulterated excitement on our kids' faces when daddy wins.
Cool. Lauren?
Definitely the family aspect of it all. Like they said, I see my racing family more than I do my regular family, but I also really like seeing new people learn to drive and start driving, and I also like going fast.
Now, let me expand on this question a little bit, especially with you, Lauren. When she hits 5 or 6 years old, do you see a certain item showing up in the front yard of the house? Yeah, she froze.
Most definitely, but that's gonna be a whole. Kyle and I never ran, so we know nothing about them. So it's gonna be a whole experience getting her into it. But I definitely want her to at least try. If she is like it, it's not her thing, then that's fine. If it is, then my life a lot easier.
All right. Now, this is one that just came into my head talking about the kids, and the family stuff. For those of you that have kids, or even those of you that don't have kids, but you see the kids at the racetrack, do you notice a difference between kids that hang out together at the racetrack versus kids in the, for lack of a better term, in the outside world of a racetrack? Karen?
The kids at the racetrack are very tight with each other. They hang together. They even go to church service together at the racetrack. It is pretty cool. I have watched the kids get baptized together. It's an amazing family, race family. They grow together. If that makes sense, they help each other on the racetrack. They work on each other's cars. They hang out in the evenings. They eat together. The whole aspect of racing is wonderful.
Lisa, now obviously, was it Chantel raced juniors, correct?
Yep.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, when she was about 7, because back when she was racing, you couldn't start drag racing until you were 8 years old. So when she was around 7, we said to her, do you want to race? And she's like, yeah. And my husband's like, no, do you want to race? He's like, I'm not going to go buy you a car if you don't want to be in it. He's like, and if I buy you a car, he's like, you have to put a full year's commitment into it. No going to birthday parties on a weekend if you have a race. No going to your granny's house because she's got a swimming pool in the summer. If you're going to race, you're going to race. He goes, after the year is over, if you don't want to do it anymore, we'll sell the car. So we took her the first weekend. And Lauren, don't worry, there's plenty of dads at the track that will help you with the junior, because Phil Arsenault was in our pits that first weekend because we had no idea what we were doing. And then Chantal started hanging out with all the kids. And back then, all the juniors ran each other. There was no different classes. It was like the 8-year-olds ran the 16-year-olds. And Chantal got her butt handed to her every weekend, except for like she won 1 round the first year, and she was the happiest kid at the track. And then as the years went on, every weekend, our kid wanted to hang out with us. They were coming to the racetrack. I didn't have to worry about her getting in trouble at school or getting in trouble going to parties because she was at the racetrack every weekend. And when racing got over, all the junior kids would take off and go play kickball or slip and slide out in the fields. And they just loved it. And they all knew they couldn't get in trouble because all the parents said, listen, you screw up, the track's going to throw you out. It won't be us getting mad at you. It'll be the track. So all the kids knew that. And so they just had a great time. And, Chantel's not racing anymore because she's a pastry chef and, that she's working on the weekends, but she's still in touch with all her racing friends. She still talks to them and, they're always going to be a part of her life.
Melissa,
Yes.
same question. Now you have little kids that are on your crew. That's what's cool.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh, no, I said you have little kids that are on your crew. All I can think of whenever I see DJ is going to possibly win a race is, you know who I'm talking about. Thumbs up picture. Tiffany's
Tiffany's
daughter.
We have a bunch of we have a bunch of little kids around, and it's great because they're so involved. They love it. And when they can't make it to races, they watch. If we're at a national event, they'll watch it on TV, and Olivia gets all excited and says, "Oh, that's my DJ," and so does Madison, his other niece. So it's exciting. I think Olivia's super excited to get into a dragster, but she has a couple more years yet, I think, and it'll be exciting to watch her, grow up in it.
Cool. Now, Sarah, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but with the number of races that you are able to go to with your husband, the team, and the kids, do you notice a difference in how your kids behave at the track versus, again, out in normal world?
I feel like they pick up like where they left off with the other kids that are there, and they're all running around and playing together and driving the golf cart even if they're not supposed to, kind of thing.
Lauren, now this is something that's obviously kind of new to you, but you also have your nieces and your nephews. Do you notice a difference in how they behave at the track versus, again, in the outside universe?
Yeah, they're always super helpful and really encouraging. Addie, my youngest niece, is all about the trophies. They just seem to be more I can't think, in touch with what we're doing when we're at the track.
Very cool.
Instead of on their phones.
Right. Awesome. All right. What makes you nuts when you're at the racetrack? What makes you absolutely lose your mind? Melissa, let's start with you.
Oh boy. I don't think anything makes me absolutely nuts. I like things to be where I left them, or I like organization. I like having a routine. So if something feels off, that'll drive me crazy. Nothing that drives me absolutely nuts. I think more when we're at the racetrack, I'm so focused and I try to be calm and not nervous. So I wouldn't say anything drives me too crazy.
Lisa?
Well, I wouldn't say it's at the track, but it's usually like every winter or something. He's like, I'm not going to race next year. And for years, I used to believe him. Now, every time he says that or he's selling the car, I'm like, yeah. Okay, whatever. And I don't listen to him. Or if things aren't going right, he's like, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. And I'm like, okay, then just quit, sell the car tomorrow. And then he's like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, yeah, okay. So usually I don't listen to him when he says anything anymore.
That's a shut up, go out in the garage and get to work because you know you're going to do it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Carla.
What drives me crazy? Besides my driver? I think for me, because I don't come from this background, I know I keep saying that, but the men, it's men because it's the men that come over and just have a perception of me, and they want to think that they know. They think they're going to put their hands on the car, or they're going to tell me what I'm going to do, and they're going to tell me what they think that they're going to do when they don't know anything. They're not the ones that are at home putting everything together. They're not the ones that are in the drive home screaming, yelling, or underneath the cars, taking these cars apart. And I've had to learn all of this, which I'm very lucky. I'm also lucky that because I don't have a background in it, I'm able to learn Fred's way, exactly what he wants and exactly how he wants it done. And so when our routine is messed up, and I used to try to be really nice about it, and I'm not nice about it anymore because we have lost a lot of things and he can get hurt. And at the beginning of the day is, I get it, it's a race and you want to win, but my job is to make sure that we're having fun and that he is safe and he gets down that track. Winning is totally the perk, but I'm not going to jeopardize somebody else's ignorance being in my way because they think that they know. And that happens a lot. Like it's okay to say you don't know. I say it all the time, but if I know something, get out of my way, because I'm not going to deal with the consequences of it. If somebody else does it, then I got to listen to him. I don't listen to him enough. You know, it's so often somebody else, and I don't have a problem. I'm very protective and I'll say something, but I'm always nice at first, but I'm not, you know, if I keep repeating myself, then move, because now his safety is in concern and I won't deal with that.
Nice. Karen.
Okay, what drives me absolutely nuts is I have two things. The ride getting there. Yeah, the ride getting there. And when we're in the staging lanes, and like I said, Ronnie likes to go watch the cars, and sometimes I want him back at the car, so I'm relaxed getting him ready and getting him in the car, and my mind's in, okay, he's ready and I'm good to go. And sometimes he cuts that a little short to where I gotta go, where's Ronnie? Do I need to drive his car myself or what? So anyway, yeah, sometimes he cuts it a little short on me to where, you know, I get a little nervous, and yeah, it drives me crazy because then I'm stressed. I'm like, okay, I still got tires. I still got to make sure his nitrous is right. And I got stuff I need to do, plus get him ready and get him in the car. So yeah, so the ride there and him, yeah. Sometimes I'm a little stressed.
Lauren.
When I do something stupid, like go 001 red or not trust my car and give it back. And I also I hate packing up. I hate packing everything up to go home. I like being home once I get there, but the packing up part, not a fan.
Sarah, go ahead.
The delays drive me absolutely freaking crazy, you know, like I don't get there often, and when I do, I feel like, oh my god, like we're, you know, Brian will go down the racetrack once and then he's supposed to go down 2 hours later, and then it ends up being 6 hours later, and it's just, I don't know, it just makes me crazy.
All right, next question. Favorite racetrack? Let's start with Lisa.
I probably would have said Englishtown, because the first, I think it was what, 5 divisionals we ran there. Dennis run it up for all 5 of them, and he couldn't win one, but we always had really good luck at Englishtown. I mean, I do like Epping because it's our home track, but although I did get out to Norwalk this year, and Norwalk's track's really nice.
Yeah,
I was really impressed with the grounds there and the ice cream.
I was going to say, I hope you had ice cream while you were
Well, we were there Memorial Day weekend for the PDRA race, and it had to be 40 degrees. I had a hat, gloves, 2 jackets on. So it was like, we bought the ice cream, but we threw it in the freezer of the motorhome and ate it when we got home because it was just so cold there that weekend.
Melissa,
Oh boy. I would probably say Virginia is my favorite track. Tyler and that whole crew, they always have that track on point. It's absolutely perfectly prepped. DJ holds the track record there. I've gone rounds there. My dad's gone rounds there. I think overall, that's probably my favorite track.
all right. Carla,
I like Norwalk. That was the first time I was ever there, and it was beautiful. What was the name of the other track?
Which one?
The PDRA one.
Galat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like the Galat too. I'm not really good at the names. I just know like the states and where they're going. But I really like the Galat track. I like the organization of it. Melissa knows.
Yeah.
It was
You're
really,
learning.
really, huh?
You're learning.
Yeah, I'm learning. I just, sometimes I still think we go through Delaware to get to Florida. So it's tricky.
We do actually.
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But I really liked Ohio. I loved it with those. I love the old schoolness of it. It was like, when you see in the movies type of thing. I like Virginia because AJ was really, really nice. And he was one of the first track people I ever met. And I like PDRA. I like that Galat race. They were lovely. It was organized and down to the starter, to the security guard, to the starter. It was just comfortable. I really enjoyed them.
Sarah.
Sorry, I'm doing this on my phone.
Okay.
Trying to mute in between. I don't know. I mean, Brian, I was very successful at Epping, but then we had an injury with one of our children, so that, didn't end very well. But that was a really cool experience. It was a national event. I don't know. I like the convenience of Atco. It's, pretty close to our house and could go back and forth if we needed to, for a race weekend. And Englishtown was a lot of fun the few times that we were there.
Cool. Karen, go ahead.
I actually like Bristol. I like the way it's laid out between 2 mountains. It's pretty cool how they park. They park the spectators. They actually have to, the spectators have to do some kind of thing for a year ahead of time to get a spot. It's a whole lot of stuff for them to get a spot there to watch the races. I like Virginia. It's pretty close to us. PDRA, I love PDRA. Galat is a really nice track too. Maple Grove up in Pennsylvania, we've raced a lot there. I haven't had a whole lot of tracks that I don't really like. A lot of them are nice. So yeah, Norwalk's good. Ice cream's good. Ice cream scooper, winning that is really cool.
Lauren, go ahead.
I love Epping just because it's our home track. I have so many memories there, but I also like Charlotte. It's just incredible. If it wasn't for the turnoff at the end of the track, because don't know which way to go, just because there's 4 lanes. If it wasn't for that, that would be my all-time favorite track. Cool. Very nice there.
All right. Worst thing about spending however many weekends you do on the road? Melissa, go ahead. Because you probably spend the most weekends on the road.
Yes. We start our racing season the first weekend in March, and then we typically end mid-October. So we're gone a lot. And I think the worst part about it is we have 2 dogs at home. So we have dog sitters that stay here, and you feel kind of guilty leaving them. And the other part is the house doesn't stay clean. So I usually come home to dog hair everywhere. It's just a mess. And then trying to get caught up on laundry, it's just a never ending cycle. So right now, with it being winter, the house is super clean. The dogs are getting plenty of attention. I actually have zero laundry right now, which never happens. So keeping up with the house away from our dogs, it's just the hardest thing about being away so much.
Cool. Lisa.
Definitely the house cleaning, because, you know, you leave on, depending on where you're going, you could be leaving on a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. And then it's, by the time you get home on a Sunday night, then it's trying to exactly get laundry done and then try to find groceries. The last year hasn't been so bad. I haven't gone to a lot of races this past year because of my work schedule, but I'm also working from home now. So at least Monday mornings, I can throw laundry in or during my breaks and my lunches. So, but yeah, keeping the house clean was always the worst because it just never got clean.
Right. Carla, especially since you just came off the road.
We did. I miss my family. I don't have any children, but I'm one of three. My sister's got two young boys. And with this race schedule, especially this year, I miss their birthdays, and I come from a huge Italian family, Italian and Irish family, and I miss the cousins getting together. You know, I miss everything because we're away, especially for the ones you're going away for the 2 weeks in a row because you got to race back to back to back. You know, I get to FaceTime, and thank God that's a positive. One of the positives about technology these days, but you know, you're not there. My youngest nephew absolutely dropped me the moment he saw the Nova. He was 1.5 years old. And now the moment I see him, he goes, "What up, Coco?" And I see the blue car. I'm like, that's not how you talk to me. And then he calls Fred Meatball. He goes, "Hi, Meatball. Let me see my blue car." He calls it my blue car. You know, in the moment that child saw the Nova, he was in love with it. So I miss, you know, just being around the families and stuff.
Cool. Karen, go ahead.
I would have to agree with Carla. It's a family thing for us. 5 grandkids, and sometimes we have to leave the dogs home. So yeah, we're on the road. We do normally 26 races a year. So we're on the road a lot, running NHRA and PDRA for points. So yeah, we come home, you know, Sunday or Monday, and then leave again Wednesday. And it's a lot. It's a lot gone. It's a lot away from the family. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but you gotta love it, you know?
Yeah, but the grandkids love it when Ronnie wins because then they get ice cream on Monday nights.
Well, that's true. They do. They do. They love that. So yeah, that part is special.
That's cool. Sarah, go ahead.
I don't know. When we're away, I miss my backyard and my swimming pool, and not having to do anything. Brian and I are both teachers, so we have our summers off. So when we're, you know, when he's not racing or whatever, we're in the backyard having cocktails and splashing around with our kids. So I miss that when we're gone.
Lauren, go ahead.
Definitely the shower situation.
Oh yeah, well,
I can't. I can't use as much hot water as I want. I gotta keep turning it on and off, on and off. Plus sharing it with, you know, at home, it's just my husband and I. Well, I have a 7-year-old stepdaughter. She showers too, but my parents, Deb, my brother, whoever else is with us, I miss my shower.
And well, the thing is you only live a half an hour from the racetrack when you go to Epping anyways. Oh, she froze. All right. So the flip side of that
I
question.
sure do. So
Yep.
I go home. Yeah, 22 minutes.
Shower.
So I go home.
All right. Flip side of that question. Your favorite thing about spending however much time on the road that you do. Karen.
It's quality time with Ronnie and I, and you know, we get to see our racing family, and it's definitely a family for us. You know, we meet new people all the time, and we've been doing this for a long time, so we know a whole lot of people. So, you know, it's great to have that second family there. It's a bond.
Cool. Sarah.
So watching our kids grow up around it and them learning. So when Brian and I started dating, his son was 2. And I want to say when he was 6 or 7, we got him a junior dragster for Christmas. And he didn't get to as much as we would have liked. But you know, having the passion of being around his father. And as the kids have got the girls have gotten older, and even our little guy who's going to be 3 in a couple weeks, just their love for it, their excitement. Adriana, we got Adriana a dragster this summer. She's 10. And part of her Christmas gift is all of her like safety gear. So Brian instilling his love of racing in our kids.
Cool.
Probably my favorite.
Lisa, go ahead.
It's probably just spending the time with Dennis. Because Dennis is the happiest person when he's at the track. Even when things aren't going good, he's still always happy to be there. And I always say that most people like don't know him unless you know him at the track, because that's where he's the happiest. And we've been doing it for so long together that, you know, when he gets lined up at the tree and I turn around and I'm done saying the Our Father and I look up and I look at the scoreboard and I'm like, holy crap. This is why I don't watch, because he's gone so fast. And, you know, when I get down to the other end and I'm like, holy crap, you know, because he's just now with the turbos, he's just so much faster. And it scares the crap out of me, but I know it's what makes him happy.
Melissa, go ahead.
I get to miss work. I don't know why he hasn't said that. No, but seriously, like my favorite thing about being at the racetrack is the competition. I'm kind of still, I consider myself still new. I've been in a car for about 3 years now. So being in a car now, I have a different mentality for it and a different perspective. Whereas where I just help my dad and DJ, it's more, I'm more focused. I'm more nervous. I care about their safety a lot more. But I think just the competition and being with, you know, both of our families, DJ's entire family comes, which is great. And we love it. And my dad's there. So I get to spend a lot more quality time with my dad. And the fact that I live about 3.5 hours from my dad now. I'm in Maryland. He's in New Jersey. So when we're at the racetrack, like I get to spend all that time with my dad when we're not working on the funny car. So I think it's more just maybe just all the quality of time we get to spend with each other.
Cool. Carla.
My favorite thing is, I have 2 favorite things. I like seeing all the women, like either whether you're driving or you're supporting or just me turning around and seeing you screaming, yelling at your driver, because that makes me feel like I'm normal. I like to see other people that are like me, that are doing the same thing. Karen, I've seen you do it. Melissa, I've seen you do it. I've seen you. And that makes me feel normal. Like, am I supposed to have all this anxiety? And I also like the end, like usually on Saturday nights, I make fried dough. So that's my normal. And I like bringing the random together, whoever we park next to, introducing ourselves, because you don't know what's going to happen. And that's my normal. I like cooking and having everybody sit down and telling their stories and busting, you know, the men being men and the ladies talking and the ladies, you know, holding their own and doing, because we're all, you know, equal in the sense, you know, we all grew up very old school. It's a very old school sport. And I don't think anybody knows that it's really a good time. And I like the end of the day, especially when I'm able to bring everybody together. And I enjoy being busy, but that's my favorite thing. It's just watching everyone laughing and having a good time and eating and, you know, the calm of it all. Because at the end of the day, it's just a race. You know, I get it, but it's just a race. And you're there to, you know, you're leaving a lot behind when you're going to these things. So to make it genuine, that's how I like to contribute to it.
So Carla, I do have somebody said on Facebook, I need to ask you how many people you have fed at the racetrack.
Is that Fred? I think the most I fed one time on fried dough night is 40 something people.
Wow.
I'll feed everybody. Listen, if you tell me I had made a recipe, so just tell me how many people I'm going to feed and I'll just bang it out. I don't care. I like to be behind the scenes. I mean, this is because Chris, you know, I will open my mouth. You were there for
really like food.
Hi. But I enjoy that. That's what I can contribute to my part, really, is the food part, because that's my normal. Like comes very easy to me. It's easier for me to make food for 50 people than it is for 2 of us all day long. And I really, really, really like it.
Lauren, go ahead.
Definitely the quality time with my family. I don't think I would spend every weekend with my parents if we weren't racing, and my brother and, you know, the family that goes just to watch. And I work with my parents too, so spending all the time with them is great, and I just feel lucky about that we all have a similar interest that we can all do together.
Cool. All right. So for those of you that do not race, I know of 2 of you that do, obviously. They're not hard to figure out. You don't race now. Do you have the urge to try it, Carla?
No, I have absolutely no desire to race. But if he ever sells a Nova, I will go with
Carla, you get that blue Nova.
Listen, you keep saying that. I have no desire to race. I mean, I am competitive. I can be all day long.
God.
I like to deep sea fish. I like to fish. I like to be in the middle of the Atlantic where no cell phone, nobody can get me, nothing, just like me and Jaws. That's my favorite thing. This is absolutely Fred's thing.
And she likes to lay down on the dock to measure her height versus how long the fish is.
Because I was finally taller than something.
I saw that. That was
impressive.
I mean,
Whose was bigger?
That was just say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Yes, fine. Fred, you know, that's when Fred never deep sea fished before, and he still had to beat me at that. No, I have no desire. Although we don't, Fred has got one blood nephew, but he's got a lot of nephews from his dearest friends that love the Nova. And my little fat Mackie, I love him with all of my heart. And, you know what the future is going to bring. I would love to see him in it, but no, I don't personally have a desire to race at all. I like to fish. Melissa, stop pushing me. Maybe like one time I did try and send him. I tried to get him to go down the Daytona Dragway, and he was like, "It's a felony." I was like, "It's your first offense. It'll be fine. Like, it'll be one of those things that to say that you did it. Like, let's just do it. Call my dad. He'll get us out." And he said no. But I absolutely love the Nova car, and I can't reach the pedals, so I can't drive it.
You're only a foot and a half shorter than Freddie.
Huh? No, I'm shrinking at a rapid pace.
Yeah. Lisa, go ahead.
No, a few years back when my daughter was running juniors, they had a parent race. So I got in my daughter's junior, and I had never raced anything before in my life. And I got in there, and the light came down, and I stepped on the gas. And I'll never forget, I'm driving down and I'm holding the steering wheel going, I can't believe I let my daughter do this. This is insane. This is way too fast. She shouldn't even been doing this. And so that was my one experience. That was my time trial. And then I went up first round, and I guess I red lit, and he wasn't even paying attention. And that was my only time. Although one day I did drive Becky Miller's dragster around the pits. She was warming it up, and I said, I'll warm it up for you. She goes, you will? I go, sure. So I hopped in it, and I was driving around the pits, and everybody kept looking, going, holy crap, that's Lisa's driving that. But that was my extent of it. And I always keep telling Dennis, I'm going to get a dragster. And he's like, yeah, you should. But then if that happened, I would never sit in it because he would take it over it. So there's no point.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit, Lisa, about your reputation of turning around. I want to first, I know the backstory on this. You told me it before.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. What's the reputation of what?
Lisa has this thing where when Dennis stages and gets ready
Oh,
to
yeah,
run,
you don't watch.
he turns around and
I
she
saw that.
faces the highway
Yeah, I
at
saw
Epic
that. You don't
or
watch.
any track. She faces the opposite way.
Mhm.
Two-part question. First part, why? Second part, did you do that with your daughter when she raced juniors?
No. When Dennis first started racing, I used to watch him all the time. I'd be up at the stands watching, back when he was running like, 12s, 10s, 9s. And then one weekend we went out opening weekend and he barrel rolled the car from the starting line. We're not quite sure if he broke an axle or he sheared off the wheel studs. So he had barrel rolled the car right off the starting line. And I was standing at the starting line watching, and I actually got to the car before any of the safety people did. I was there first, and the driver's door had fallen off, and I looked in at him, and he looked at me and he goes, "What the just happened?" And I'm like, okay, he's all right. And then of course they're pulling me out of the way to check on him. And ever since then, I've had a really hard time watching. Like, I just want to throw up every time. So I get him, he does his burnout. I get him in the water box. He does his burnout. I back him up. I make sure he's straight. I adjust the wheelie bars. I tell him on the radio he's all set. I remind him not to turn on his air bottle. And I say, good luck. And then I turn around and I start saying the Our Father. And I can hear the car staging. I can hear the RPMs and everything when the turbo spooling. And so then I hear the cars take off. And sometimes I'll look at the people that are watching from the starting line and I can tell by their reactions if it's going good or if it's not, because some of them will be like, oh. And then I turn around and I'll look, and either Dennis is coasting or he made a good run. And then I'll look at the scoreboard and then I'll go on the radio and tell him what he ran. But when my daughter ran, I always watched. It was just different. It never bothered me.
Right.
Well, there was a couple of times I did, Dennis and Chantel had went away racing, and I get a phone call because I couldn't go. And Chantel's like, "Hi, Mom." I'm like, "Hi." And she's like, I got to tell you something that happened today." I'm like, "Okay, what happened?" She's like, "Well, I was going down the track and my steering wheel came off it wasn't locked in all the way." So she's like, "I'm trying to get the steering wheel back in before I hit the wall." I'm like, "Did you hit the wall?" She goes, "Nope, I managed not to hit it." And I was like, "Okay." And then one time, one of the juniors was in the other lane and had flipped the car over in front of Chantel. But Chantel was able enough to stop and move over, so she didn't hit her. But I don't know, that just never bothered me. But watching Dennis crash, that was hard.
Cool. Fair enough. Sarah.
Yes. Do I have a desire to race? Is that still the question?
Correct.
I'm waiting for Brian to purchase me a Trans Am.
Yes.
Oh, the ball is in his court.
Very cool. Well, a street car or a full-on race car?
Well, a street car, yeah, but I mean, I would like to be able to, I would bracket race it if that was an option.
Awesome.
Like late 70s, early 80s. So he knows what I want. He better
you
deliver.
You want a bandit mobile.
Mm.
Gotcha. Karen, go ahead.
Well, I have a 79 Cobra Mustang that runs in the 9s. It's beautiful. It's black. It was my dad's car. My dad has passed. I haven't been in a car. Anyway, one day I'll get back in it. Ronnie and I have been busy, and one day I will be back in that car.
All right, Melissa, every time it took, I saw something on Facebook over the last year, you guys won a dragster. So you have a
Yes.
small fleet of race cars now.
Yes.
So are you gonna stay competing in Super Top Dragster, or are you just gonna do it when time allows?
So DJ actually won 2 dragsters on Facebook. He first won the blue one from American. We found out about that. We were actually at a Ravens Patriots game, I believe. So that following weekend, we drove to Ohio, picked up his blue dragster. And then I believe it was about 9 or 10 months later, he won a second one. And he had told me that he would build me a new race car. It ended up being a little too big for me. The cage was about, I think, 26 inches. So we ended up re-raffling that, bought another car down in Florida, and then we painted it to match his dragster. So right now I'm running Super Comp, but we did build a nitrous motor. So I am hoping to get licensed in that sometime after Gainesville and maybe play around at PDRA a little bit with it. But maybe one day Dad will let me get in his Top Sportsman car. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that one day. I don't know if he's watching, but
Did Dad buy another car?
no, he still has the same car. He just he sold his engine and built a Pro Charger motor. So
No, because he was selling his trailer and you wrote something about Dad got a new car, and I was like, he bought another car?
oh, well, he did purchase a 67 Camaro to bracket race. And I'm not going to really say what he's doing with it. I'll let him make that announcement, but you'll see. Well,
Very cool.
yeah.
All right, Lauren, I know you race a dragster, your brother races a dragster, but the cool thing about your dragster is your brother's won a whole lot of money in your car as compared to his car, right?
Yeah, my car's way more consistent than his. So he's winning all the money in mine, which is good because I got a lot of cool pictures of it.
Now, you said you didn't start out in juniors because that program was just kind of really coming about when you were old enough. What was the first car that you raced? And then how long after that did you get your dragster?
So my very first time down the track was in Doug Foley's van to show me where the finish line was. And my first time down the track in anything was the dragster that he has license in. And I got my license, and then I drove my brother's car maybe for 5 or 6 races, and we were sharing it, and that was fun. And my car was the deal my parents couldn't pass up, and we got it. And so within a year I had that car, and I've been driving it ever since. I've never driven anything else.
Very cool. All right, last question. We're going to go around the horn. We're going to start with Carla. Your favorite moment in racing so far?
Fred winning Top Dragster. That was my absolute favorite moment ever. We've had a rough couple of years, and I needed him to know that he could do it. And that was just, I had a feeling, and watching him be who I know he is and conquering that car, and he hasn't been able to conquer it for all of the reasons, and he did it. And to see him do it, and to see what I know that he could do come true and do it so tactfully and so respectfully to each, from race to race to race, to Dave, to Steve. It was unbelievable. And I will cherish that moment for the rest of my life, because that's something that I could say that I was able to watch kind of, you know, from the middle, but totally full circle. And it was my hands down favorite moment.
Karen.
Well, I would have to say winning the world championship in 2018 was my favorite. Ronnie and I struggled all year long. We had 4 motor changes. We had ups and downs every single week. We didn't know whether we would have an up or a down. And I gave that year to God. I'm like, you take it, because I can't do this. And God won that championship. I will say that till the end of time. God wanted, he just added us in. We were just part of it, but it was amazing to be able to win the world.
Very cool.
So that was my favorite.
Right. Melissa.
Oh, I'd say I'll never admit or say, not even admit, I'll never say my favorite moment has anything to do with me in the race car. But hands down, my favorite moment ever was when DJ ran a 5:38. Now, I know that number may not mean much to anybody, but it's a big deal in an alcohol funny car. You don't see it happen often. So he actually did that a few years ago at Virginia, and our one crew guy, Charlie, has a headset. So he always tells DJ what he ran. And we go to pick him up at the end of the track to tow him back. And DJ thought we told him he ran a 5:48. And he was like, man, that felt really fast. I don't get it. And we were like, no, you ran a 5:38, which is a career best for him, track record there. And he freaked out. He like threw his helmet and just took off running. And we were like, where is he going? And it was just such a great, like, happy, because we all got to see him so excited. And I think that meant more than, you know, winning any of the races that year. Like we put so much work into that car, so much money, so many hours in that garage. And just like for that to pay off and see how priceless and how happy he was, that was just one of the best moments.
Awesome. Lisa.
Well, I actually have 3. The first one was when my daughter won her junior dragster championship. That was just amazing to watch because when she raced juniors, I didn't do much. It was just her and Dennis. They did it together. I was in charge of feeding them and making sure her flag was in her car. So when we towed her back and forth, but it was their thing. So when they won the championship, that was awesome. And then the second one was when Dennis won the PDRA championship back in 2018. There was a guy, Wayne Rogers, who was running. He was the only person who could have really beat Dennis. And Wayne was like 2 cars ahead of Dennis. And Wayne went down and he lost. And I just started crying. I started hugging this other crew guy, Joe. I was just so excited. And Dennis goes up to run first round and the throttle broke and then he ends up hitting the wall. So as happy as we were, 2 seconds later, it wasn't that great. And then this year he made a 3-second pass in his car, which anybody who knows anything about racing in the 8th mile, if you can hit in the 3s, it's hard. It's not something everybody can do. And the fact that Dennis built the entire car from scratch in our garage, that's not very big. And he does everything on the car. You know, I wasn't at the race, but I was watching it through Flow Racing and I just sat there and I cried. I was bawling my eyes out as I was watching it when I saw the 3-second comes up, because I was just know how excited he was to finally hit the 3s.
Very cool. Lauren.
I have 3. The first one was when I had to run Kyle at the national event. And beforehand, I think it was like 2nd round, 3rd round, I said, you know, we have to run each other. It's kind of fun to do. Like long burnouts or something, and he was like, no, don't do that. We don't need more runs on the high on tires. And so I did my burnout. It was normal, and he went by me and took it past half tracked, and I was just like, what the hell? So that was a lot of fun. And then I had to take time off from racing. I had thyroid cancer. I had 2 surgeries that I had to have done. Sorry, the baby's yelling. And so I had to take time off from racing. I had to take a whole season off, and we went testing when I got cleared to race again. And Kyle's like, oh, only let it off the starting line, just make sure you know what to do. And I took it. I had a 9 light, and I took it all the way down the track. He was like, why did you do that? You haven't raced in so long. But that was awesome. And it was just testing. It was just us, my family, and that was a really exciting day. And the last one was after I had Raina. Again, we went testing. I like to test before the season starts, just to clear the dust webs off and cobwebs. And I looked up in the stands, and she was in a little stroller, and that was just, had just had it 6 weeks before, and so that was a really special
Very cool.
run for me.
There she
She's
is. Sorry, little
screaming her head
girl.
off.
Okay. So,
She's happy,
Lauren,
she's just yelling.
before I talk to Sarah, can I share an embarrassing moment about you? You know which one I'm talking about, I think,
Yeah.
right? Is that okay? Is that okay? Oh, all right. Sarah, go ahead.
I think my most favorite moment is when Brian was at the finals for that big national event in 2018. Just him going rounds and the exhilaration and the excitement of the crowd and I guess hot lapping, is that the right word? Where you can barely get the car cooled down before you're called up to the lanes again. Just like the pure adrenaline that the whole team was feeling that for that event was super cool, even though he didn't win. But I think that's my favorite thing, favorite time.
Well, I have to say, this has been a lot of fun. I hope you all have enjoyed it as much as I have. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your evening to come on and hang out and talk racing. And I would like to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and look forward to seeing all of you at the racetrack next year.
Absolutely. Don't forget your hat.
My rice patty hat.
Yes. All right. Bye, ladies. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you again
bubblegum.
for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas to you. Bye.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, that was awesome. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I had a good time. I do believe our guests this evening enjoyed themselves. Want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking us out live. We will be back next Monday night. Hopefully Pete will be here. He's getting ready to be able to fly out to PRI. And Jaron has actually had to take his son to karate lessons tonight, so he wasn't able to join us. But Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in, checking us out. Thank you again, ladies, for your time this evening. I really appreciate it. We will be back next Monday night with your 2021 Division I top sportsman champ, Robert Fortuna. So be sure to tune in, check us out live next Monday night. Have a great night, everybody. If you're out shopping, stay safe, drive careful. Be good.